This is like a morning show. This is like Good Morning America.
Yeah, it's
now.
really fucking happening.
What's happening?
Cameras.
What's with the countdown?
Mexicans.
I love the countdown.
Yeah. I don't know why they like to do that. I think they sync the sound. And is that what you do it? They sync the film and the sound.
Oh.
All right. Well, anyways, my guest tonight, Tony Hinchcliffe and Chris Wylde here. This is
You asked me to do the show.
No, I didn't really.
Yes, you
want
did.
you
On
to.
New Year's Eve, I was blackout drunk. It was like 2 a.m.
I can bring up the text.
Well, the thing is, the 300th episode came out on New Year's Eve, and I was blackout drunk, and I was like, all right. Everyone in my family was at all the in-laws. All of my in-laws were over at my house asleep, and I was alone, hammered.
Did you feel like you were in India?
I smelled like it. And so I ate weed brownies and then listened to the 300th episode and entered the 300th episode and loved it. Because the video wasn't available yet. I just listened to it. And I loved every second.
Have you seen the video now?
I've seen part of it.
Miss Pat is fucking
incredible.
hilarious.
And she's incredible.
The best part, which I didn't know, and you have to watch the video. We have it on the Facebook page or go into YouTube. Just go into YouTube and put Eddie F 300th and you'll find it.
So good.
But Miss Pat is talking to the guy. I didn't even know he was at the show. Some guy was there that somebody brought along who was in Jaws 2. And he's so proud of that fact. And
His Twitter handle is like Jaws 2 Jack or whatever his name is.
And
This is at your New Year's Eve stand-up show.
Yeah. No, this is at the 300th episode. We had a party on December 18th.
Which he
gotcha.
dropped for the public on New Year's Eve.
Oh, gotcha.
And there were some famous people there.
Sure.
And,
Heck yeah, the guy from Jaws 2.
well, that guy.
And he gets killed in Jaws 2.
That guy, yeah. He's
Talks
like,
about it like it was the most successful sequel of all time.
yeah, but he goes,
37
he
years
goes,
of residuals.
I'm the guy from the Jaws 2 film. And she's like, who the fuck are you?
I don't give a fuck about you, white boy.
Unless you're the shark, nobody really gives a shit. Right?
Yeah, I don't remember even the
Roy Schneider, right?
Roy Schneider's the only guy I can name from that
He
movie.
called Roy Schneider.
And this guy goes, it was the #1 selling sequel of all time
the hottest sequel ever.
in Japanese yen converted to
Still getting royalties 37 years later.
South African rand.
Fuck you, I ain't fucking you.
Isn't that like notoriously one of the worst sequels ever?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jaws 3, and then Jaws 4. They were all the worst sequels ever.
No, Rambo 4 was the worst.
So I loved the show. Listen to it, right? Huge thing. I'm blackout drunk. I'm starting to hallucinate on like 2 or 3 weed brownies.
And you start sending me love notes.
And I started sending you love texts. I started sexting you. And I was like, this show is great. And it's interactive. I'm texting with the host
You're writing
as I'm
stuff
listening.
like, we need to talk to people in Hollywood about this.
I wouldn't go that far. I know you're never gonna make any real money on this because I'll just rape your sponsors. So then I guess what happened was you were like, oh, do the show Monday, which New Year's Eve was only a few days ago, and I was like, def. I'll be there. Make sure you have no one else.
That's what you said.
No other guests.
No other guests, just you and me is what you said.
Because the last time I was at the Rape Cottage, there was this piece of shit named Andy Ruther here, who I've blocked on Twitter because he's just terrible.
He's a nice guy.
He's a terrible person. He's a terrible person.
Is this true? You really don't like him?
He's a jerk.
Why don't you? What did he do?
What has he done?
I don't know who he is. I
That's
want
what
to
I'm
know
saying.
now. This is
You
exciting.
shouldn't. You know too much.
Tony, I better tell him what you've done or he won't like you.
I like
Tony's
Tony.
impressive.
Look at his belt buckle. Look at his shoes. I'm on board. Andy Ruther was like some weird date rapist frat guy who's just like, bruh, is it Sharkies, bruh? And like he wouldn't stop talking about Sharkies for fucking 90 minutes. He told a Sharkies story for 90 minutes. Have you ever been to Sharkies?
No.
Exactly. I like you, Tony.
Yeah.
In it, the guy from Jaws 2 gets killed. In his
By
story.
Sharky. By Sharky. So you texted me yesterday, what
I'm like,
time are you
what
going to be there?
And you were like, I can't Clippers.
I was going to the Clippers game there.
Everybody wants to know, do you get free tickets to the Clippers?
They let me in the locker room.
I said that. I said I bet he goes in the locker room.
Yeah, I'm in the locker room, in the press conference room, in the press box. I have all access Clippers.
Just because you dance on the Jumbotron.
Well, I'm not even allowed to dance anymore.
Why not?
They took my nickels away. Because I'm in the press room, because I'm in the locker room with the guys, they don't want the fucking idiot dancer in the locker room. Now I'm like press because of my Clippers podcast. Clippers podcast, Clipcast. Put it together, Clipcast. And so because of that, they're like, you can't. You're press. You can't be dancing. Because so one game this season, I'm wearing like a shirt and tie, whatever. I'm not wearing Clippers gear. And I ended up going down in my old seats because my buddy's like, hey, come down and sit with us. And they put me on Jumbotron. I'm like, and I just waved. I
sold out.
I played it cool. I waved. I just didn't do anything. But then there was this actress named.
If I go with you, we're wearing the hot dog outfits and we're dancing.
Yeah, of course. And we're gonna penetrate each other on Jumbotron. this tall actress.
How great would that be if they cut the penetrate to the Jumbotron and one guy's just fucking
Just
another
close
guy?
up.
I can't remember this tall actress's name. She was in the movie
Daryl Hannah.
The Artist, and she was maybe on Mad TV. She's funny.
Miss Pat.
Missy Pyle. Missy Pyle.
Really?
We got there, yeah. So she was on with her dumb groundling's girlfriend, and they were doing this dumb dance, and they kept showing them do this dumb dance, and then they cut to me, and I was like, all right, I'll give them what they want. So then I stood up and started doing this
your
dumb
ego
dance.
would let them be.
Well,
there.
they were doing the worst dance ever. They kept showing them, and they cut to me. So then they had like a dance battle between me and these two chicks, and then literally the game ends. And
Can you show us what your dance is like that you do?
I change it up every game.
Well, give us
there's
some of it.
nothing. There's no, I mean, with
all
no
original?
music, it's all original. It depends on the
Wow.
song. It depends on the moment in the game.
I had a guy open for me in Seattle on New Year's Eve who
This past New Year's Eve.
this past New Year's Eve, the show I got there, I said, what time's the show? They sent me the format of the show, and I was headlining. They said, you're going to go on at 11 and take it to New Year's. And I went, okay,
Great.
what time does the show start? 8.
Oh no.
Woof.
And I looked at the lineup of all these comics. I'm like, how much is he doing? Oh, he's only doing 45. And I went, this is a nightmare. This is going to be a nightmare. Not only was it a nightmare, the guy that went before me was every one of us before we did comedy in a bar.
Figuring
He-
shit out.
Taking his shirt off, pulling his belt out, slapping the stage with his belt,
Right.
just going down into the crowd, pouring water on his
For
head.
this next joke, I'm gonna need an audience member to come up here.
And a handkerchief and a hard-boiled egg.
And I'm gonna jizz
Right.
water on him.
Hey,
and
how about this? You stand there. I'm gonna use my arms. You put your arms back. We're gonna do the arms. dance.
it was like I'm just standing there. So I took a picture of him with his clothes off and sent it to the booker, and I go, "This is what I'm following." So
I mean, you must have eventually won them over by the time the new year turned its
it
ugly head.
took me a good 58 minutes,
It
but I
took
brought
me-
him around.
It took me until 2014 to get them.
No, I did exactly my time and got the fuck off stage. I was like, this show's gone on forever.
You started winning him over when you hit the big joke. 10, 9, 8.
Walked off at 5.
They started going crazy. You're out of there.
I started on stage with 6,432.
Got down to 5 and then walked off. Didn't
You
give
know,
him 4, 3,
swear
2,
to
1.
God, one year I was in what's it called, Youngstown, Ohio, when I was like,
That's where I'm from.
I was
Stop.
doing
Yep.
comedy at the Funny Farm. Do you know
Yep.
the Funny Farm?
I was just there 2 weekends
Oh
ago.
my God, it still exists.
Yeah.
I did New Year's Eve there one year and did the countdown about 15 minutes before New Year's and had everybody fucking popping their things on purpose,
so
Right.
and then went psych.
Reinsert
That's
popped
hilarious.
things. All right, so Tony, you're from Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah.
Everybody in Youngstown's mob.
Yep.
Everyone.
That's what I'm from.
Your mob.
My parents were mob.
Really? True mob?
My mom was more mob than even my dad.
Hinchcliffe, is that that doesn't
That's
sound
not
very
really my last. That's
It's
not a stage last
Fetriacci.
name. That's the name I was given, but I don't have my dad's last name.
What's
because
your dad? Are we allowed to say it?
Scabatou.
Marsco.
What is it?
Marsco.
Marsco.
Oh, like
Tony
they
Marsco.
called him the Moscow Mule.
I had a Marsico in my school who's in jail now, and he was mob.
That's
all
his dad.
all Marsicos are in jail. Marsco's different. It doesn't have the I in the middle.
Right. So what level mob?
He ran the place that everybody would meet at,
Mm-hmm.
and he was big on running numbers and gambling and setting the lines and being a bookmaker. And my mom was the queen pin of the running numbers, and she was the
Were you
person that they would
raised
go
at
to.
a whorehouse?
No, there weren't any whores.
But
Are-
there were
are
people
you-
coming by money in and out.
Are you Don Draper?
I don't know who that is. It sounds familiar.
Sorry for the Mad Men reference.
Yeah.
Didn't catch on.
Money coming in and out the door constantly.
And not a lot of it happened at the house. They would do their meetups outside places, like they would just meet in a bank parking lot and things like that. Sometimes I'd be on the ride for that, like a grocery store parking lot, really inconspicuous.
Did you
places.
have a godfather?
I do have a godfather, but it's not like the Godfather.
But you're mobbed up
It's
and
true.
you have a godfather.
True.
My dad was a big gambler when I was growing up in
Yeah.
football. And my brother loves to gamble, and I used to watch.
You know what I love is this thing called DraftKings.com. If you're into this gambling and
Shut
fantasy
up! Delete that. I'm serious, Machete. Delete that. I'm gonna get in big fucking trouble for that legally.
You know what I love is gambling.
Say
you
it
were
again.
saying
Oh God.
gambling. You were saying.
Okay,
I'm
back
not
to
saying I
back to
didn't say
gambling. Take that
DK
off.
I didn't say DKC.
No, but
Your dad was a big gambler,
yes,
right,
the
Eddie?
manila envelope with the cash in it.
Yeah.
And I never got to see how much money the guy would they would fold it up and then put rubber bands around it. I never knew how much.
Yep. You could sort of guess by thickness.
Yeah.
but
What is it 20s? Is it I didn't know how much they're
It's
doing.
always different.
Yeah, I would be
Now,
like
how did you get out?
I wasn't really in. They were in.
So mom and dad were in, but they wanted a better life for you. Tony.
Right, exactly.
Tony, I want a better
how'd you
life
end
for
up
you.
getting out of Youngstown?
No, why did you get into comedy? Because that's a worse life.
Well,
Way worse.
Yeah, it was. Anything's better than Youngstown. Like Youngstown's just really, really
Depressing.
bad, and they cut down.
Fucking awful.
A notorious fun fact about Youngstown is that the FBI dilapidated the mafia there in the mid '90s. So when I was just growing up, like as a teenager, a young teenager,
Did your
they were
parents get
ending it.
fucked by that?
Nope, they avoided it. But
Were
it was
they not high enough up?
It was very nervous times. Probably not high enough. You know, they pick they get the main people and they just destroy it by that. If you kill the mainframe, then everybody else is scared to death.
Because I grew up in Pittsburgh, which is about like an hour and 15 minutes away from
That's what I
Youngstown.
was saying. Is Youngstown like Pennsylvania, Ohio, or is it?
It's very close. It's right in the
very
middle.
close.
It's,
Like they're Steeler fans, a lot of them.
It's directly in between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and it's directly in between Chicago and New York City. That's why it became a big mafia town.
I wondered why. I was gonna say, what the fuck?
This
about
is so because like Eddie never has interesting guests, so this is the first. Like a guest is
Well, if you
talking,
think
and I'm
that's-
actually intrigued.
If you think that's interesting, I got to tell you about this place I went to the other day called Sharky's.
I met a Mexican grandmother.
Now dance, Chris Wylde. Dance.
Ass to mouth. Like the story lasted 90
It
minutes,
did.
and I
Well,
know
don't,
our
don't
thing
you
is
know that was
we
my
interrupt
joke?
Stories.
Yeah, he told a story, and I tried in my head. I was like, I'm gonna see if I can not let him finish the story the whole episode. So every time we talk about something
And
else,
I
I'm
came
like,
to the episode 20, 30 minutes late. He had started the story right off the. You
what,
started the story.
what
right
was the
off
story
bat.
about?
Him. A grandmother.
Yeah, it was a good story.
I disagree. But I didn't realize he was telling the story for 20 because I showed up 20 minutes late. I thought you just started talking about
The
it.
first thing I said to him was, "Tell me the story about when the Mexican grandmother shit on you."
Yeah.
And
Isn't a Sharky's like a taco place?
it's a
bar.
It's a
like
frat boy bar
sports bar,
in
frat
Manhattan
boy.
Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's
Like
just
off
one
the
of 'em.
pier, the harbor, or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
you hear bro a lot when you're there.
Ooh.
Now bra.
I watched a
Oh, really?
documentary
It's different.
tonight. The thing I watched today while eating dinner was this My Little Bronies documentary.
Oh, I know all about
So
those.
I had no
Yeah.
idea. The reason why I clicked on it, because I'm like, I've been hearing this word brony for the last couple of years. What is this really about?
Yeah, those
and I
people-
learned all about that just
Yeah.
a few hours ago. Pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I was dying throughout the
Yeah.
whole thing, and I don't think it's meant to be funny. Like
My
it's,
Little Brony.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so I know nothing about this.
Tell him.
Okay, well, there's actually. I was wondering. I always thought it was like a hipster type of thing. Like
My Little Pony.
Nope,
right?
nope.
Like to like My Little Pony to be counterculture or something like that. But these guys actually just love My Little Pony. Like they came out with a new kind of My Little Pony, I guess, a few years ago, and the animation supposedly is like great, and the music and the voices are great, they say. And these guys are just obsessed. So I guess there was this huge re-release of My Little Pony a few years ago, from what I understand. And then all these guys loved it, and they all felt like guilty, and they felt sort of like gay. They were like afraid to tell their parents, is the story that a lot of them have.
Sure.
Like I was afraid to tell my friends that I
I was
was.
afraid to
Well,
tell
I was just embarrassed, and I thought that
I was afraid
Oh,
to
you're
tell my
one of 'em.
same-sex husband.
Right.
I was afraid to tell the guy that I was fucking.
I was afraid to tell the guy that does my nails.
I was afraid to tell My Little Pony that I was fucking because I bought a pony and I was fucking this pony. And then I was like, I don't want to tell the pony about this. I don't want to seem gay.
Yeah.
the breeder.
So My Little Brony is the bros who like My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got a documentary made out
And,
of it?
Yeah.
and there's even a convention that happens every year. This convention that they shot this documentary, 4,000 people were there, and I mean they go fucking crazy for these people. Like the creator comes out at one point, and the whole place is just like they're just insane. All these grown men,
Sure.
and like some kids, like some of them are teenagers, and they're afraid to tell their dad that they. Like,
So this is their
that
support.
They like My Little Pony, and then
this
they
is
tell
their
their
support
dad,
group?
Right.
and then they tell their dad, and the dad's like, "Well, I have something to tell you. I like." It's like Teen Wolf. It's like Teen Wolf, where Michael J. Fox tells his
I
dad.
wish we had the
comes out to his uncle that he's a wolf or
Can you turn
whatever.
the TV, like get it going, and I'll pull up the My Little Pony.
What's crazy is your dad knew a couple things about the ponies. You know what I
Right.
mean? He was running
Right.
I'll do it from
ponies.
here.
My Little Tony.
My Little Tony. That's incredible.
My Little Tony.
I'm so fucking happy that the holidays are over.
That is that a segue? Are you
I'm
going?
don't get me wrong. We can go back to My Little Brony, the documentary. I'll talk about that all night.
I know, but the way you just set that up.
Well, I feel like this is a comedy
Now
show.
you got like a bit. I feel like is coming now.
Well, now I'm not going to do it.
Okay, good.
So there's 4,000 bronies. Do they call themselves bronies?
No, I want to
Yeah.
know. You know about the furries, the people that fucking like stuffed
dress
animals.
up
Yeah,
like
they dress up like
things.
stuffed animals.
See,
and
I
then
don't
fuck.
actually know about that.
Oh yeah, this is just as weird.
So
And
like at Disneyland, like Mickey Mouse would technically be a furry. It's a guy in a suit, right? Like a
Wow.
furry
and they
suit.
meet up with other people and they fuck in these suits.
when they make holes in the suits.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
And Ty thinks it's like the funniest thing in the world. I think
I think Ty,
think-
by thinking it's funny,
is
means
a
that-
brony.
No, he's My Little Furry, maybe.
Ty has gone.
Oh my God, your wedding DVD?
Yeah, my wife had that. Oh, thank God.
Well, at least now I know her name because I read that.
Do you know how many of my friends' wives I don't know their names?
You don't know my wife's name.
No fucking clue.
Well, it's impossible to even say it. I don't even know her name. Some Indian name.
Oh, I want to watch this.
American Underworld.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks really good.
Is it a cartoon?
Of course, I want to watch Sex Trade. No, put it on. I watched Marc Maron's. Has anybody watched Marc Maron's TV show?
No.
Has he been on the show?
Yes,
How many times?
just once.
Was it a good episode?
Not really.
He seems a bit much.
Yeah, it wasn't a good episode because he and I thought we were gonna make peace.
Oh, you guys,
We used to butt heads so much in New York constantly. But if you listen to
guys
the
are
show,
so
I think
like
that-
different generations.
he has trouble with everyone.
I think that's his thing with everybody.
Yeah.
Like him butting heads is his handshake. When most people go, "Hello, nice to meet you," he just goes, "Boom."
Yeah.
Just hits you.
What do you want?
Right.
What's this about?
Oh, you're a fan of mine? I bet. I worked really hard at it. See you later, kid.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
He said to me once, I was talking to him in a comedy club, and we're like talking, and everything's fine, and then he goes, "Get the fuck away from me! You're draining my energy."
Whoa.
It was real.
And I went, I've been known to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you don't have to yell at me.
You're a known energy drainer.
Yeah, vampire. Energy vampires is what it's called.
I am so glad the holidays are over, you guys.
Why are you so glad about that?
Well, is it just me, or is every Christmas Carol about rape? This was my big bit that I planned on the car ride over here. Was that I wanted to talk about how every Christmas Carol is about rape.
How's Jingle Bells about rape?
Well, okay, Jingle Bells. I mean, come on, you don't even have to think that hard about Jingle Bells. You want to jingle each other's bells all over each other, and
not
you're
about rape.
that one's maybe not rape, but it's about sex.
In a one-horse open sleigh,
Hello.
slay that pussy.
I'm gonna slay that pussy. I'm gonna jingle my bells all over you.
Interesting.
There's nobody. She doesn't want to do that.
Interesting.
She doesn't want a one-horse open sleigh, right?
Oh, what fun it is to ride.
Thank you. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. She wants to leave, right? But he's like, no, but it's snowing. I'm going to rape you. You can't leave since we've no place to go.
This is all you thought about on the way here.
No means no. No means no. No means no.
Oh, that's the.
Wow, he's been working on this.
No, hold on, but there's more.
And
okay?
you make fun of stand-up comics.
All right, so there's more. The one about baby, it's cold outside. That's just rape. I mean, that's not. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Dean Martin is going to rape this girl if she leaves or if she doesn't want to leave.
Did.
He did.
Allegedly.
In Steubenville, Ohio, which I'm sure is close to Youngstown.
That's the rape capital now.
It's a little bit farther south, but there's definitely
some rape.
Definitely rape.
What's going on with that?
With what?
That's like the rape
She
capital
even
now.
sings in that song, the answer is no. She says the answer is no, which would hold up in a court of Christmas carols. All right, so Frosty the Snowman, he heads into the center of town, right? Down to the village with a broomstick in his hand. Not a broom. If he had a broom, he could clean up his act. He has a broomstick and some kids. That's object rape.
Wow.
You worked on this bit. You worked on
How
this.
many more songs do you have?
And Silent Night. Come on.
Oh, well, that one's easy.
Silent Night.
Shut your mouth.
Look on the TV. I want to go back to My Little Pony. You know why I'm watching this? Because I want to see if I might have that problem where
This
I
is
like
not-
it.
And by the way, that's
is the
how
new-
I looked at it that objectively too. I'm like, I'm gonna keep an open mind and see if the animation blows my mind because
Yeah.
the passion with the guys was incredible.
So this is the new My Little Pony.
I mean, you got to watch the documentary. You will
But
crack
this is
up.
very different than what I remember as a kid.
Yeah, right. This is the new one that's like melting people's brains. Like these people are addicted to it like meth.
Is it a counterculture? Like, does it go hand in hand with drugs?
All it does is make me want to blow both of you right now.
No,
Play it again.
You want to know what the actual point is that I ended up finding out about it is that it's all about friendship. Like the songs are about friendship, and there's always
is Taylor Swift's thing, and I only go to her concert twice a year.
So was Friendster.
yeah.
That was literally all about friendship. The title of this thing was "Friendship is the New Horse."
Tony, do you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh, so you don't use it. I want to know. Do
You don't use friendship.
No, the Tinder or whatever it's called.
No, but I have friends that use it like crazy.
Yeah.
Now,
Have either of you used it? No. You have a girlfriend though. Chi-Chi has a girlfriend, and Machete.
He uses
Machete fucks hookers.
He uses Redbox or whatever it's called.
back
Red Trap.
page.
What?
Yeah, don't use it anymore. That's where they're trapping them. That they're doing the baiting.
What happened?
Yeah. Oh, My Red Book is what you used? I thought you used Backpage.
No, Redbook.
Oh. He got a hooker off of Great. That's what we always wanted, was you shoeless and...
Pregnant. Shoeless. That's what you're going for upstairs.
We need beers. Chi-Chi, can you grab some beers? Do you need a beer, Tony?
I'm okay.
There's
I'm shedding everything. I'm getting rid of everything.
You're getting rid, like, shit's falling out of your pockets that's, like, been in there for months and years. What are you getting ready? Is My Little Pony doing this to you?
Yeah, I
I
think
want to
so.
fucking watch this.
You're taking clothes off.
You guys don't. You guys don't shed all your shit to watch your pony shows.
I'm wondering if it has this weird, like, seductive, like, hallucination kind of hypnotism thing where
That
we're going to
was very
start watching
trippy.
it, and the next thing you know, we're going to be running a train.
It does seem like it's sort of like there's confetti falling the whole time right now. So it does sort of seem sort of hypnotic.
But that does scare me.
Is that on every episode?
I don't know.
I feel like sometimes they could be doing
A
you know,
feature film documentary about the obsession with this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
Oh, I
It's not
gotta watch
supposed
it.
to be, but you see the passion,
Chi-Chi.
the passion in the guys that are like, I love it, like it changed my life. Well, the first time I saw, Pinkie Pie smile at the camera, my life had changed. And
Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, that's the pink one.
Oh, that's her name?
Mind you, I'm only bragging about these because I learned this 2 hours ago.
Yeah, no, this is fresh.
I didn't know Pinkie Pie 4 hours ago, all right? I'm just saying.
But 2 hours ago, you were introduced
Right.
to Pinkie Pie, and you're like, I want to share this with my friends.
Yeah.
I don't think I could get roped into it, but
Is that a saddle or a diaper she's wearing?
yeah, it's a saddle.
It looks like a diaper.
I don't think my dog likes it.
Oh, yeah, he seems really uncomfortable.
Yeah. There's Pinkie Pie's version. The evil and
And then the bad guy.
all right, this is really bad podcasting. We're watching
No,
My Little Pony.
Turn the volume up and everybody be quiet for a couple hours.
I've done stuff like that. Do you know about my Christmas song episode that I did?
Yeah, you just had hours sing and sing and sing and sing and sing. And did you speak?
I wasn't there.
But apparently, like the listens were off the charts.
People went so angry.
But they couldn't stop listening, much like My Little Brony.
This episode, Talkin' Shit, comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. 1 year, our first Christmas, I made Machete came here, and I wasn't even in town.
Jim was still doing the show?
Yeah, but Jim was out of town. I was out of town. I made Jason come over here with a guitar. He didn't know how to sing any of these songs. He learned every single Christmas song, sort of, and sang them all. And
they were all about rape.
They were all about rape. But the best was, and he got the Jingle Bells. He sang the chorus how many times? Like over 200 times.
Oh, he kept going. He
going,
never stopped.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
One thing about caroling that I did notice over this holiday season, to bring two of the last three subjects together at once,
please do,
is that I read this thing on the front page of CNN that was this dying girl's last wish is to have a bunch of carolers.
Is to be what?
To have some carolers come to the place. So what they did was...
That was her dying wish.
That's it? That's what she wants?
But check this out. This is the part that blew my mind, because what they did was they like blew it out of proportion. They're like, oh, you want carolers as your last wish? So check this out.
We're going to have the little kid that dressed up as Batman from San Francisco coming.
So what ended up happening was they get a knock at the door. They put her little hospital bed outside for a second.
Right.
10,000 people standing out there.
Gave her a heart attack.
All start singing at once. But what's amazing is if you know anything about music, you would know that 10,000 people singing at once would ruin the song.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way they could keep it in rhythm. So
they butchered Oh Holy
Night. They ruined that. So they ruined her last wish. She's like, 5 people would have done
Follow-up
perfect.
story.
Yeah.
She just died.
Right.
She just died.
Crazy part that ties your thing in is right before she died, she got raped.
She got raped. By Anderson Cooper.
I've heard there's a lot of Make-A-Wish kids that don't die, and I think we need to take the wish back.
Right.
Like that kid's still alive.
If you don't die and you got to make a wish, like you got Disney World, you've got to go work at Disney World or do something like, it's like washing dishes.
Or we shoot you in the back of the head like Mice and Men, like Lenny.
Or like you got to
coming from the mafia, man.
Boom. You got to go to Disney World without the guy with the yellow shirt cutting you in every line. You know what I mean? Like you have to go to Disney World on a holiday and only be able to ride 2 things. It sucks.
Are your parents still around?
Yep.
Both of them?
Yep.
Are they still in Youngstown?
Yep.
Are they still, they're not involved with the mob anymore?
Nope.
Yeah.
This is why we can talk about it.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Is there like a movie deal? Is their story going to be told?
Maybe. You know, I've been thinking about writing a book.
Are they scared at all?
Right, what
ever?
you know.
Yeah.
Are they scared?
Not at all.
Really?
No, it's done. They're out of it.
That's cool.
It's pretty insane.
Is it like a
Because
statute of
there's like
limitations
nothing they
thing?
can go. Well, sort of, because it's like they can't go back and research it and prove anything.
There was no internet
So
back then.
I could always just say that I lied on a podcast. I'm a comedian and that I lied.
yeah.
Sure, he made
yeah.
this up for,
Right.
for fun.
Yeah.
Well, under parody law, we can get away with everything
Right,
we do.
exactly.
Everything.
Totally.
That's the best part about being a comedian.
Yeah.
It's like anyone else says it, they can get in trouble. Like technically Tony and I can get away with it. You? No.
Well, apparently if I mock the sponsor, they pull their sponsorship.
But if we
But
mock
if you
them-
guys had done it,
No, it's under that parody law, you can get away with a lot of shit. A lot of shit. I mean, when what's his name from Hustler first did it?
Larry Flint,
He was the first person to like use the parody.
parody porns.
Because he
It was huge.
he was showing
And you
like
would-
Jerry Falwell like fucking people and
Yeah.
And that's all they do is like literally they put the word parody, and it's like
Right.
Seinfeld parody, and then Jerry fucks Elaine, and then
through that, I mean, Larry Flint actually was one of like the bigger free speech advocates of all
from
time.
Ohio, Columbus, Ohio,
True.
state
Yeah.
capital.
so many fucked up people have come from Columbus, Ohio.
Two that I know of.
Marge Schott. Do you remember her?
Marge,
Cincinnati
the
Reds.
owner of the Reds. She was like the most racist. She made
Right.
she made Paula Deen look like
Initially, they were the Cincinnati Native Americans. She's like, call them Reds.
Is that true?
no,
No.
he just
Something
made
like that?
They were called the Ohio Native Americans. She's like, call them Cincinnati Reds.
Marge Schott, Jerry Springer, Cincinnati. He was the mayor of
Mayor of
Cincinnati. Someone else, like a lot of fucked up
Oh, there's
people.
tons of them.
Yeah, like really fucked up people come from there.
And, you know, some good people too.
Like
U.S. presidents, astronauts.
Name some.
More U.S. presidents than any other state. More astronauts
Really?
than any other state.
I can't name any, but that's true.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland. Grover Cleveland.
There you
no,
go.
just because his name's Cleveland.
Nope. That's him.
Ironically, not from Cleveland.
We had this talk at the Comedy Cellar one night. We were all sitting there talking about the presidents that you never speak of, like they were president of the United States. And like, when's the last time you were having a conversation? Somebody went Zachary Taylor.
Sure.
He's from Ohio. Taft.
There you go.
McKinley.
They're all from Ohio.
Yeah.
That's back because that was all there was.
Was Ohio.
Remember when they founded the one colony?
Right. Yeah.
Up until 12 Years a Slave happened, and then the 13th year, the rest of America formed out of Ohio.
No, Jesus gave birth to Columbus.
Okay.
Columbus came to America.
Called all the Native Americans Indians.
They didn't exist. They just died. Then Hitler tried to take over, and Batman killed him.
So I was watching 12 Years a Slave, and literally, like, the whole time I kept thinking, like, wow, Columbus really fucked black folks. Because, like, for thousands of years, Native Americans lived, I don't know if they lived peacefully because they refused to keep records of this shit. But, like, they just, I mean, thousands and thousands of years there were Native Americans here, right? And then Columbus lands in, I guess, 1492. Just ruins everything. And then white folks come over in the 1600s, 700s.
White people.
Ruin
Do you ever
everything.
listen to Dan Carlin's podcast, Hardcore History? He does this one episode about how white people are going to be looked at on the general scheme of, like, on the timeline of, like, man on Earth as the evil period. Like, white people are fucking horrible.
No doubt.
Like the Anglos.
You're trying to create more white people.
Yeah, that's true. You're merging.
I'm making khaki.
My wife
children.
is 1/8 Chinese. Swear to God.
Stop.
Swear to God.
That's the part I'm attracted to. Because the first time I saw her, I'm like, there's something about her that's 1/8 fucking sexy to me.
That's it.
And there's 7/8 that I cannot stand.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So weird we both feel this way about her.
That I fucking smoked an 1/8, brah.
No, but white people everywhere they've gone have just done horrible things.
They're terrible people.
But like this 12 years.
They really
shit.
are. Even right now, like the whole if you're running everything now, you have everything. The reason why Brad Pitt, like we were saying, are producing those movies, was that before we started or?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was
Brad
Okay,
Pitt, George Clooney, and Matt Damon and
They
Mark Wahlberg
put their name on
produce
every film
movie.
that
They can
makes-
produce everything
Right.
now because they're already a name. So even in that business, it works that way, where it's like, oh, you're already huge. Here you go. Here's some more. So just use my name, and then there you go. And then even
send
in
me
movies,
a check.
But in every form of business, they're destroying America right now. And I just watched a 6-part killer series on Auschwitz
really?
on Netflix. Unbelievable series. Another thing, I don't know why I'm in the mood
I
to
I
recommend.
love that your two favorites right now are about Auschwitz and My Little
Little
Pony.
Brony. I went to Dachau, not Auschwitz. When I was in Munich, I went Dachau. I went. That's what we called it down there. We went down the Dachau. It has this overwhelming feeling of like, even though there's
Something
nothing there.
bad happened.
Yeah,
here.
you walk in there and you're just your depression is just over fucking whelming.
This is literally like walking into this house.
Is that one of the?
You walk in here and you're like, something bad happened here.
My house feels a lot like
People
Dachau.
died here.
Is that one of the ones where like you have to go through some forest for a bit, and then you're in the middle of a forest? and
No,
it's sort of
this is
just,
what's
like, cut
more
up?
fucked up about it.
Yeah.
It's like you can throw a rock over the walls and there's town. And it's like, you German people didn't know this shit was going on?
Right.
No, we had no idea they have high walls.
You didn't smell the secondhand flesh.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. But they all claim that. People, I'd ask people that have like older German.
We thought it was the birds chirping, not the Jews dying.
Yeah, people will say, we had no idea. You don't know what's going on in Iraq, do you? I'm like, that's because that's
Right.
Not next door.
yeah, that's over in a place where we never
Like,
go.
you know what's happening in Marina Del Rey.
Yeah, I do. If
It's
I
just
saw
right over there.
if I saw a bunch of people in pajamas walking down the street and going into a fenced-in area, I'd go, maybe we should check on that
Dude, how much better would Venice be if they fenced in the fucking homeless and put them in pajamas?
and gas them.
You know? I was gonna say, I didn't say gas, but I was like, you go to the fence and you throw food and money over it, if you feel guilty. But no, you're absolutely. You should gas the homeless in Venice. It would be lovely.
Yeah, there should be a genocide.
Most of them are already in pajamas.
Yeah.
Sure, filthy pajamas.
I had one of them talk to me the other day because he wanted to talk to my dog,
Ugh.
and I go.
In his defense, the dog talked to him first.
I go.
Your dog talked to my soul.
She hates homeless people. I go. Don't. She bites. She doesn't like you. He goes. He goes. You should put a yellow ribbon on her collar.
So
and
the
I go,
soldiers
what's that?
come
He
home?
goes. That means that she's not friendly. And Lachlan goes, "Oh, I wish I could wear one of those around my neck." and then she goes,
That's why
he goes, "I don't like people either."
That's why Lachlan wears a yellow ribbon around his neck now,
So
because he hates homeless people.
So the guy goes, he starts talking to me, and he goes, "Yeah, that's a well-trained dog. I have my dog's trained." He goes, "He's a service animal," and I go, "Oh, is he an emotional support animal?" Because I figured you're crazy. You got
Sure.
emotion. He goes, "No, it's a service animal. It's trained because I'm a paranoid schizophrenic." And I was like, "No one tells you they're a paranoid schizophrenic. They're too paranoid to tell you."
Sure.
He goes, "I'm a paranoid schizophrenic, and my dog's trained. I see people all the time that don't exist, and the dog's trained to let me know if they're really there."
Did you start fucking with him? Like, dude, I'm not real.
I thought about that, but I don't want to fuck with a paranoid schizophrenic.
And plus, he lives in your fucking alley.
And I didn't want his dog coming up to me going, "Nope, he's
Right.
real." So
And he lives in my recycling bin.
yeah, exactly.
He's my neighbor.
So I didn't want him and the people, his army.
Where do you live, Tony?
I live on the cusp of West Hollywood and Beverly Hills, about La Cienega and Wilshire, right in that little business district, Wall Street looking.
La
area.
Cienega and Wilsh, right by Larry Flint building.
That is like a
It's
very businessy
It's
area.
pretty cool. When I go for my
Restaurant
morning
row.
jog, it's like it has the vibe of New York City because it's the only area where there's like a few skyscrapers. And the other cool thing is when I'm flying back home from a road gig into LA,
You can
your
see
like
it.
you see downtown first, but then if you keep looking as you get farther and farther west, I just see exactly
You
where.
go, "There's home."
Yeah. And it's a great feeling every time. getting
Larry
to look
Flint
out the
building is
window.
right
do you
there,
do you
right?
hate going on
Living
the
in
road
the
as much
shadow.
as I do?
It's not. Yes, a little bit. I love it. I love it when I'm there. I love it when after the show. I love hotels.
Really?
But I hate little parts like waiting for the plane, going through TSA.
Here's what I like about the road: stepping on stage till
Mhm.
I step off stage.
Right.
And everything else I detest.
Yeah.
Like, I despise every part of it.
Right.
I used to like it when I was single. Fucking greatest life in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now horrendous.
There was times when I was on the road single where I wouldn't get hotels because I knew I would just meet
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Which is a
You
terrible
don't
way to
need
live.
that. You don't. No, it's not.
I know, but
it's
you're like-
so easy.
You're like, I'll either get a hotel there or I'll just fucking meet some nice folks and go home with them and fuck a couple.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get free rent and a pussy.
Sure.
It's like breakfast, bed and breakfast,
Right.
bed and pussy.
It is
Bone and
true.
breakfast.
I did that in New York City a couple years ago. I was there for a week, and I decided to not get a hotel.
Just live.
So I'm just lugging around this heavy backpack the whole
I thought you were
time.
gonna say lugging around this heavy fat girl that I
Right.
met in a bar.
This heavy fat married chick I met.
But there's nothing more depressing than at 3 a.m. Like it turns
When you don't
out
have- when
you didn't make a friend.
Right.
And you have to oh, I'm killing it with these dogs right now.
Yeah, that they did find that funny. This is the wife, I think.
Is this Shane
I'm
Wow?
in trouble. I'm not supposed to be having a podcast.
It's my fault. I'll take the heat.
What's wrong? Is your mommy home?
Wouldn't she have entered by now?
Yeah, maybe she lost her keys. She's out boozing it up.
Maybe the
And if she's ovulating, wouldn't you have entered by now?
Did you work on that on the way over?
No, I couldn't get ovulating out. And is she ovulating?
he thought of that one between Silent Night and Frosty the Snowman.
Down to the village.
Wait,
with
Frosty.
the broomstick in his hand.
That
Why
is
is a broomstick?
that is weird. That's a really great point.
Because if you brought a broom, that's
Right.
one thing. But a broomstick,
That would mean that there's no bristles attached to the
he
bottom.
snapped the bottom part off.
He's
right?
like
so
a
he's got a jagged
he's
edge
like a New York
broomstick.
City policeman with a plunger.
But he took the plungy part off.
He's gonna Abner Louima him.
And it's already
Do
terrifying
I get
enough.
Do I get points for that reference?
Is that the jogger?
That's the guy. Remember the guy that the New York City police took in the bathroom and raped with a plunger?
Oh, the
Whoa.
business end. The business end of a plunger.
The business end. You don't remember this?
Uh-uh.
New York City.
I remember that.
They arrested some guy outside a nightclub and he gave him a little bit of a hard time.
So they took him into the bathroom
They
and raped
took him into the bathroom and raped him with a plunger.
Right.
Raped. Like what kind of
Down
human?
to the men's room with a plunger in his hand.
Who says, "Hey guys, I got this one."
He resisted arrest, but we raped him best.
NYPD.
Singing "Catch Me If You Can."
Jesus. How long ago did that happen?
Just this past Christmas.
Wow.
And
really?
where is
No, this is like Mayor Dinkins. This is not Giuliani or fucking Bloomberg.
It's like NYPD Brown.
Anybody know how to spell Abner Louima?
No.
No.
Oh, here he is. He's from Haiti, so the plunger probably got AIDS.
Oh my god.
He's from Haiti, so you know he's rich now because of George Clooney. Raised all that money, gave it to Abner Louima.
Forcibly sodomized with the handle of a plunger.
The business end of a plunger.
In 1997.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. They fucked up like his intestines.
So that's not Dinkins.
I mean, they went.
That's whoever was before. That may have been Giuliani. That was
I think
Giuliani.
It was Giuliani.
It was pre 9/11, so it was a
They
different
beat him
city.
with their nightsticks. They beat him with their nightsticks, but then they were like, "I don't want this going in his ass. I need something that already
Right.
has shit on it."
Right, which is crazy because the other end is the one with the shit all over it.
I think he's like a multimillionaire now, and that's the guy. Justin Volpe is the guy who did
Officer Volpe.
it. Yeah, Officer
Sergeant Volpe.
said he was sorry.
Mm.
He's got a 30-year sentence
Sure.
Oh my god.
at a minimum security prison. He was probably
He's
in,
playing tennis with Tommy Chung right now. Your
uh,
Tommy Chung impression is very good.
it is.
Because
I'm-
you don't do impressions.
I'm not good at impressions. It's the only one I can do, and I did it to him, and I don't think he liked it.
He didn't, because he thought he was talking to him. I'm talking to me, man.
You want to hear a cool
Oh,
story?
wait.
about-
Well, sorry to interrupt. Louima
Yeah, we
got,
don't like cool stories on the show.
Louima got $8.75 million. I think I'll take a plunger in the ass for that.
8.75.
Yeah. Would you take a plunger in the ass for $8 million?
I once was getting a little bi-curious. I put a plunger in my ass for free. I put a condom on it
$8
like
million?
a gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
no
I would.
hesitation.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I would be like, snap it off, put the jagged plunger edge in my ass so I can earn this $8 million. Or
pour some absorbing
you know
junior
what?
on it.
You know what? Put the rate me with the plunger side. That would probably be more difficult. I want to earn this $8 million. It's better odds than the Powerball. Would you read it aloud and share with the class?
All right.
Sorry, Tony. You said, would you
Go
like
ahead,
to
I
hear
wanna
a
read
cool
the
story?
funny parts.
Let him read while you tell a cool story.
At the same time. Worst podcasting moment in history where we both you read and I tell a story.
We keep redefining the worst podcast moment in podcast history.
No, I did the worst podcast in Pittsburgh. I did it. Trust me, I did it.
Yeah, episode 1 through 299.
No. This was 298 and 299
Oh, your show.
were the worst episodes I've ever done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were.
Because I was on 296 and 297
and
or
then
something
it
like that.
just went fucking. I went to Pittsburgh.
It was worse than Luther? Or Ruther or whatever his
You
name
have
is?
no idea how bad it was.
Who were your guests?
Fans have written and been like, "Hey, it wasn't that bad." I'm like, "It was bad." They're like, "No." And then one guy went, "My ears are bleeding." From how bad that podcast
But
was.
I couldn't turn it off. It was like hours singing Christmas carols. I couldn't stop listening. Well, what was the show? Who was on? Like your old friends?
I went to Pittsburgh and I called this comedian, really funny comedian. And I said, "Hey, can you help me out? I need to do a podcast. I needed a couple." So I was like, "Can you help
to
me?"
get to 300.
Yeah, and that was the whole reason I was doing
Because you'd
that.
already taped episode 300.
Exactly. And so I promised this 300 episode. So we went to like this little comedy club in Pittsburgh, and there was an improv show going on before our show, and they shushed me in the outside room like 50 times.
Oh my god.
And so I started yelling at them, and I was like, "I'm going to fucking kill these improv fucking nerds." And then I started angry. Nothing was working. Like, I had to hook all this shit up myself. I don't know how to do it. And then I tried to bring a gay comic on and a redneck comic and have them just debate the Duck Dynasty thing.
Oof.
Didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Because they just kept making out.
No.
They kept plunging each other.
They both like took the like politically correct route, and I'm like, yell at each other.
Man, fuck Duck Dynasty.
I wanted the one guy to go, "Fuck you, faggot." And I wanted the other guy
Right.
to go, "You ignorant piece of shit." I wanted them to
Sure,
argue.
fuck you, redneck.
And then the one guy just started telling me how he's depressed and wanted to kill himself.
The gay guy or the redneck?
The gay guy. Rednecks don't want to kill themselves. People
Right.
kill them.
Yeah.
I just want to kill everybody. I don't want to
Yeah.
kill myself. I
Go
want
on.
to kill everybody different.
But the one guy turned in to be like Jason Howard times 50. He just would tell like these horrible stories about him. He would try to do bits.
Did he
And
do the holidays bit?
he didn't do the holidays bit. He did
Because that would have crushed in Pittsburgh.
it would have crushed in Pittsburgh. Down.
Down to the village with a plunger in his hand.
All right, now Tony, please tell us because I can't find anything.
Well, we were
else
talking
funny
about Tommy
Abner
Chong.
Louima.
It's a quick story. It's just a awesome moment in stand-up comedy history that I got to witness, and that's when Cheech and Chong reunited for the first time in decades.
Wow,
Nice.
where
We
was
did
that?
it at the La Jolla Comedy Store, and at the time I was working the door at the Hollywood Comedy Store, and when they found out that Cheech and Chong were getting back together, they're like, hey, even though it's double sold out, you guys can stand in the back of the room if you want to drive down to San Diego and see it. So me and a carload of buddies were like, fuck yeah, we're going to go see them reunite, go literally take the stage together for the first time in decades. And they did. So when they come out to Lowrider, they already obviously have a standing ovation. Sold out La Jolla Comedy Store, $350 or something like that.
La
But what
Jolla.
happens is when they get on stage, some people started standing on their chairs
Oh God.
And breaking the chairs.
to get a better view of them being
Higher
on stage
view.
and take pictures and stuff. But what ended up happening, which was awesome, was now people behind them couldn't see. So
Right.
they had to stand on their chairs.
On their tables.
So by the end of it, almost everybody in the entire showroom is standing up like a double elevated standing ovation upon arrival.
That happens at all my shows.
People hide under the table at your shows.
And
People
they
leave.
shush you.
People leave. They're
You
like,
just told a story about you doing a show where you were shushed. So people, this ultimate standing ovation.
Yeah.
Now,
on arrival.
was it too much to meet, or it was the best show ever and they met expectations?
I think they met expectations. I don't think they could do any wrong. It was
Yeah, it was
just,
one of those.
it was just.
I saw that with Chappelle when he came back from Africa.
That was the other one that I saw.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't see
I was
the
hosting.
on chairs thing.
But
I
they
was
didn't
hosting
stand
that
on
night.
the chairs for Chappelle.
Right, but I did see a standing O on arrival, which was just
I'm
extreme.
I'm hosting. He just gets back from Africa. Like
Right.
gets off the plane and drives to the Improv first thing. And
In Hollywood.
yeah, and Jeff Richards was on stage, and they came to me and they're
Not
like,
Michael Richards?
no, the funnier Richards, and they come to me and go, get him off, and I'm like,
Right.
he had,
You introduced Chappelle?
yeah, I just introduced, and I used to be really good friends with Dave, and I just introduced Jeff Richards on stage, like, so it's kind of rude to put a guy on, and you wait till he's finished,
Sure.
and then put on the next comic.
Right.
Jeff has been doing like a minute, and they're like, get him off, Chappelle's here, and I know this is like, this is
Taboo.
no, but it's also, you know,
You got it.
a moment in history.
Sure. Comedy history.
Yeah, and I go, oh, fuck. Like, I feel bad doing this to Jeff. So they start lighting Jeff, and Jeff's like, what the fuck?
Right, and they're probably flashing it,
Yeah, and they're flashing.
which in stand-up means like emergency, and you have no
Evacuate
idea.
the building.
And
So-
you can't really just be like, "What's going on, guys?" Because then what? They
Right.
can't explain it. So when you see a flashing light, for you listeners out there, then you like, I can't even imagine what he must have been going through.
So Jeff was kind of, I think they had been bumping him a bit throughout the night, so now he's really angry. Like,
Sure.
Right,
like,
Plus
what the
you're
fuck?
hosting.
Yeah, I'm ruining the show.
right.
So,
So he's already dealing with that headache.
So I had already been outside and talked to Dave because Dave and I were old friends. And I'm like, Dave, what the fuck? How you doing? And I remember when he went to Africa, I called. We used to have like this guy that worked for us both, Jason Steinberg, and Jason managed me, and he worked with Barry and managed Dave. I called Jason when Dave left and went to Africa. I said, hey, if you do me a favor, if you talk to Dave, because I've called him and I can't get through, let him know like I'm worried, just his friend, and want to know if he's that I'm worried about him.
Sure, it meant a lot.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Jason ever did it or anything, but so Dave, I introduced him on stage. I go, ladies and gentlemen, straight from Africa,
Nice.
Dave Chappelle, and the crowd. I mean, people started like fucking tables. They were,
Sure.
holy fuck! And you see everybody's phone comes out, and everybody
Right.
just starts
Right.
taking
This is
pictures.
a while ago. It was flip phones.
Yeah, because it was on TMZ in like 2 minutes.
Right.
And but Chappelle gets on stage and starts. He's like, I don't even know what to say. He's like,
That's his
I don't have any
stand-up
material.
style.
Yeah, and then he goes,
And he stays on
he
stage
goes-
for 2 hours.
he goes, all my friends are saying I was on crack, and I'm like, I didn't say that. And he's like, yeah, all my friends are saying I was on crack, and I'm like, I didn't say that. And then he goes, yeah, none of my friends even called to check on me, and I'm like, I just told you outside I called and checked on you, and I didn't say you were on crack, and I just felt like, what? Why is he doing this like purposely? Like, is he mad at me right now?
Hurtful.
And he's like, all my friends, blah blah blah, and from there on, like I used to like Dave when I was starting stand up. He always liked like the open micer guys, and he would he would hang out with guys.
What's worse, an open sore,
Or an open
an open wound, or an open mic night?
open micer.
Open micer, that's the worst. An open micer with
Yeah.
an open sore.
So anyway, we used to drive around all night long in his
Going from club to club in New York City.
Yeah, and smoke weed, and
Sure.
but we'd go to nightclubs, and he'd take me to all black nightclubs, and I'd go in all high, be paranoid, and think they're all gonna kill me, and we'd go back to his apartment and smoke, and so I was like, we're friends, and
Right.
Since that night, fucking less and less and less. Even I was in Ohio and I was doing a show in Dayton where he lives, and they're like, I'm in a bar, and they're like, Chappelle was in here last night in the bar, just some random bar in the city of Dayton. And I go, oh, he goes, yeah, he comes in all the time. I'm like, tell him I'm here and I'm working at the Funny Bone. They're like, okay.
Nothing.
Never showed up. So,
But you used to you tried to text him when he was in Africa. You didn't get any cell reception in Africa.
yeah,
He had a new. He had
I
a
checked
new,
on him.
He
I
had a new
checked on
phone
him.
number. He had a new African phone.
I checked on him.
Did he get back to you?
That was, I've seen 2 responses in comedy clubs that are that big. That was Chappelle, and then when I saw Seinfeld come into New York his first night, and it was fucking crazy.
And then when Bonnie Rotten was on stage at the Improv for
That's true.
episode 300.
Yeah, showed her Spider Woman tits.
Dude, I tried to watch a porn of her after that show.
It's tough.
Smoking a cigarette, like sucking a guy's dick.
Yeah.
Didn't get me there.
She doesn't fuck around.
Because the only one I could find, I mean, you could find others, but like the one that kept coming up was this cigarette smoking blowjob.
You couldn't get off on the Riley Reid one?
I gotta find that one. I just kept looking at this cigarette smoking thing, and I was like, I don't have a boner, but I kind of want to have a cigarette.
Bonnie Rotten does our show a lot. She's a
She was funny.
She's so funny.
She was funny.
And
New York comic?
Oh, sort of. You could say. I'll show you Bonnie.
She's just the video that kept coming up was her smoking a cigarette going down on a guy.
She's so funny. Apparently she texted me the other night to say Dane Cook was talking shit on me on stage, and so thanks, Dane.
Why would he talk shit about you on stage? It's a joke that no one in the audience would get.
She said something about me. He was talking to
Because
Bonnie.
like topical references are things that people are familiar with, like Christmas carols, for example. Everyone knows what a Christmas carol is.
There's Bonnie for you. That doesn't look like her. That's not her.
No, it's not a flattering picture of her. There she is.
Wait.
That's her.
But
why is she so close?
There's a good one of her.
Wow. She did
It's a
that to
lot.
her nipples, huh?
I didn't realize is that a ship or a spider web on her armpit?
Frank Sinatra's on her leg.
Old blue eyes.
Oh, that's what you want looking at you when you're fucking.
and she's having a cigarette.
I like to
nice.
I like to go down on a girl and just while I'm doing it think I did it my way.
I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king.
What is that tattoo? Does anybody know?
That's eye makeup.
I was just crying because 7 black guys bukkakied on me while I was cigarette smoking.
She's such a cool girl, though.
The coolest.
The best.
I really was like, I'm gonna masturbate to Bonnie Rotten. I met her. She's nice.
You've met a lot of porn stars. I just went like this,
Yeah.
like
It's true.
you've gone.
And I felt it too. I felt the breeze of energy.
You've met
I
porn
just threw my.
stars.
You've met a million because of Red Band show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You will never meet one this cool.
Really?
I
She's the
swear to
coolest.
God, she's the coolest girl alive.
She's
Do
great.
you want to hear a fun fact? Something I learned about porn stars, and I've only been working with Red Band continuously for 2 years. And yeah, before I started hanging out with them, I'm like, I wonder what they're like and this and that. But one thing I've learned that's really crazy, and it's almost unbreakable. Like, there's been a couple, but out of say the 100 I met, maybe only 2 weren't cool.
Weren't?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all cool.
It's pretty insane.
We had one that was pretty bad on here, Caden Cross.
See, and I hosted a gig with Caden Crush. She was lovely to me.
Well, Jim has a way of doing certain things, but I felt it like towards me more than Jim even. That it was me that pissed her off, and I've usually found them all pretty nice.
Isn't she from your hood? Isn't she from
I'm not
Pennsylvania?
sure.
Anyway.
I have a few friends that are Kaylani Lay is a really nice girl. I was friends with this girl Kylie King, like friends. These girls are friends that I do. I remember one time Colin and I had to go do a noon gig in Las Vegas at this university. Colin and I drove out, and they were like, "Oh, you have 2 shows. You're doing one at noon and one at 4." And I was like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do for 3? Strip club." So I text my friend Kylie King. She's like, "Yeah, I'm dancing. Come hang out." So we her name's Kylie King.
Okay.
So we went and just sat in the strip club all day
Right.
and drank before we went to.
Do your university show.
You're perspiring like a fat man. What is that all
It's
about?
these fucking lights, bro.
Is that a long piece of toilet paper?
It's a handkerchief. I think
You carry a handkerchief with you.
gentleman carries a handkerchief. I
Gentleman
think it says something.
sweats and sweats
Puts
a lot.
boogers on it
Yeah.
and then puts it in there.
Wipes
I don't
his
blow
forehead.
my nose with my handkerchief. I just use it to get taxis.
And surrender.
Right.
And surrender and root for the home team. Because if they don't win, it's a shame.
And tell you it's the final lap.
The final countdown.
And start off Paul Walker.
And I live my life a quarter mile at a time, bro.
Yep, Paul, they said, what did they say? It was he was going over 100 miles an hour.
How do they know?
Because it looked furious.
Logistics.
Science?
Yeah.
CSI?
Yeah. They can measure it and do the math on
Oh,
it.
there's a dick in her mouth. There we
Oh,
go.
wow.
That may be the video. Oh, she's great.
Now I see why they just don't call her Bonnie.
Look at the one on her She's great, though. I wonder how many of our fans have jerked off to her. Send us a Twitter if you've jerked off to Bonnie Rotten and just say, I have.
Do I have to tweet you, or can I just tell you that I probably have? Since I'm here right now, I'll just tell you in person.
You didn't even know, and now you're like, oh, I think I have.
I definitely attempted.
There's something about that. I do jerk off probably more to porn stars I've met. There's something
Have you
about
ever had
meeting-
Asa Akira on the show?
No, but I did a show with her. And
She's my favorite.
what's the one that
The Naughty Show.
What's the one that he always has on? Red Band.
There's a lot of them.
No,
That's
is Red
one,
Band
No,
a
he's got
person?
a regular. Yeah,
The one he always has on, the one he has a podcast with, is Dana D'Armond.
she wouldn't come on our show.
Is Red Band
On this show?
I sent her a message and said, "Hey, will you come on the show?"
Oh my god!
Heard you're
Do I
really
have to
funny.
Speak comedian to get a word in right
One
now.
second. She goes. You guys were mean to my friend, and it was Caden Cross. So she's like, so I'm not coming on.
Were you mean to Caden?
Oh my God.
We were ruthless.
Who was more mean, me or Jim? Ty.
That's rough.
Wow.
When you
I said, Jim said, so how'd you get into porn? She goes, why don't you ask me something original? That's kind of, cliche.
Right.
I go, yeah, Jim, ask it in a more creative way, like
Who molested
which
me?
uncle molested
Yeah.
you?
Right. How?
And so I
How
thought it was
shitty
funny.
is your
She
dad?
didn't like it. Then I asked her if she gets recognized in the street, and Jim goes, yeah, when she's got yogurt dribbling down her face.
Oh my God.
She's great, by the way. Her videos I've masturbated to.
Caden?
Caden Cross. Oh yeah.
She doesn't look like she's into it enough.
I like that.
She's pretty. She looks
I
like
like
she's
when a
getting
pretty
raped.
girl's not into it.
She looks like she's getting raped,
That
Chris.
gets me there, especially around the holidays. So is Red Band a person?
Red Band.
Red Band is a person.
Red Band. Okay.
Yeah.
So because I thought everyone was saying Red Band because there's like Red Band trailer and HD on YouTube. That's different than Red Band.
Right.
And Red Man is different than Red
Yes.
Band.
Yes.
What is Red Band?
He's a podcast producer and a comedian.
And does he do a show like just
He
him?
he runs an entire network.
But does he have a show where it's just him talking? You know what I mean?
Just him? No.
I mean, he'll have a thing. He'll have friends on or whatever.
Right. He runs the ship of the Ice House Chronicles. He's on all the podcasts
You have a show on the Red Band Network,
on the Death Squad network.
which is underneath the Red Band moniker.
We're correct.
So, but Red Band is the top guy, right?
Absolutely.
And then he has Joe Rogan underneath him.
No, he works with Joe Rogan.
Let Joe in.
Separate
New song.
things.
There's not really a pyramid of power in the podcast world. It's he's that guy. These two guys you have here.
Got you.
He does that.
Okay,
And
these,
he's also a comedian.
so his show is like the Moncast.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, but a much more successful Moncast.
Every now
more.
and again, Moncasts get successful, get numbers.
They've got ideas. They're gonna make it funny now. You got to listen to the Moncast. Machete's programming
Drop
it.
Shane Wow. That was the first step in the right direction. Get rid of that fucking cancer.
Yeah, they got plans. What are you gonna do on the Moncast now? They got segments.
I don't want to talk about it because then we have to do it.
Oh.
But we're planning to get clips of the show and talk about our favorite parts and
Video clips?
no,
Yeah.
they'll be playing you singing
clips?
your
Okay.
Christmas carols.
So clips from talking shit. And
Yeah.
Then, okay.
yeah. I think it's gonna work.
if I needed to make a bet, could I call your mom right now?
No, she's out of it.
She really wouldn't take it.
She really couldn't.
What if I
take it.
gave her the worst bet? Like I was gonna take like and she could know for
You
sure.
were gonna bet on the Chargers
Why is
to win the
everybody
Super Bowl.
Why does everybody think the Chargers are gonna so bad?
Because there's no fucking way they're gonna win the Super Bowl. That's why.
They might not win the Super Bowl, but they're not really that bad.
No, they're good. They got this far, but they're not gonna win the Super Bowl.
The Steelers almost made it in. 7 things had to happen.
In the NFL, whoever's playing best at the end of the season normally wins the Super Bowl.
Right.
So if they can keep winning,
Yeah.
it's not that far out of.
All right. Talk to me February whenever.
All right.
After they battle in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yeah. Where are the Saints?
I'm going to New Jersey.
Where are the Saints? The Saints have made it into the playoffs, right?
They just beat Philadelphia, who was
Okay.
by 2 points, who's supposed to be like the worst
My
team.
agent at the beginning of the season asked me to go in, and when I was in Vegas, he goes, "Can you go down to the sports book and buy
Saints
to winning the Super Bowl?" And I bought the ticket, and it's in my pocket, so technically it's mine.
Oh, nice. So I'll root for the Saints, bro.
That's what
That'd be a huge payout for you.
for me.
Yeah, for you. Fuck this guy.
I'm gonna have to get a new agent.
Did he give you the money, or did he say cover me?
He said cover me.
And has he paid you back?
Not yet.
This is what I'm talking about.
It's
This
my
is
ticket.
your money.
This is my jackpot.
This is it.
It was like a $10 bet.
This is your DraftKings. Edit point.
Are you scared, Tony, of that dog?
It's hilarious what's going on right here.
Yeah, she's
She's
trying
a little
to
animal.
get you to play with her.
So smart. This guy's a pro. He put the mic right to the
He
thing.
knows how to do
I
it.
learned that from Red Band.
So Red Band will like point microphones into like funny things,
actually-
right?
Red Band's a genius.
He's absolutely a genius.
Well,
He's-
absolutely. I've heard of him. I just didn't know how to say it.
No,
You know what I mean?
know. It's okay. I'm not,
He's
I'm not,
figured-
I'm not offended
he's-
by your
Put it this way, Red Band's
knowledge.
figured everything out. Like, if you think you've just discovered something, Red Band will be
Right.
like, oh, yeah, I did that 6 years ago.
Literally, and he can prove it to you because he's so technical that he has everything on it, every app and every device.
Sure,
so he's
sure,
like,
sure.
"Oh, you don't know about." Like
Yeah,
even if he were to say Tinder, he'd be like, "Tinder, really? You're still on? You just found out about Tinder?"
He's
Yeah,
like, I got iPhone 9.
And I'm amazed he's able to keep it up with the level that he drinks and smokes weed.
I think that's what helps him. I think he wakes up so guilty and behind on life.
Is he
that
single?
He's like, I gotta do some shit.
I said
I
that-
know that sort of works.
Is he
for
married?
Me. I drink and smoke just about every single night, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I gotta fucking. What did I do last night? So then all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden I have to overcompensate.
Oh, that's what it was. I think I was more productive when I was an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's what,
Because
The show's better now that you drink.
Oh, it
when I
is.
first came on, you weren't drinking, and the show wasn't as good as it is now.
I think my alcoholism made me way funnier, and also I didn't give a fuck, so I'd get in trouble, and all my jokes revolve around me getting in trouble. I don't get in trouble anymore. I've got
I knew as an actor, I was like, I want to become an alcoholic because all the greatest actors are alcoholics.
They are.
And I was sober at the time as a kid, and I was like, I need to become a merciless drunk, to become a truly crafted, good actor.
Are you going to get an Emmy for your performance on Legit?
No, but I may get a show out of it. I really may get a show out of it.
Why? Did you make friends with the producer?
No, just because I have a recurring on FXX. They just signed with WME. Dad Holes has 1.5 million viewers.
What's
Like,
your
we're
recurring
just
on FXX?
Fucking legit.
Oh, you have a recurring role
I'm
now.
on multiple episodes.
Oh, Jesus.
Jim loves me.
I introduce you. No, he doesn't. He's just to get back at me.
Yeah, but I laugh at his jokes. I laugh at all his. By the way, Jim's very funny, so like it's easy to laugh at his jokes. And then the other guys on the show are funny as well. But I knew not to laugh
What
too
is your
loud at
role on the
those.
show?
I play a comedian named Eddie Ift.
That would be the funniest thing ever.
But no, it's not true because obviously they wouldn't bring that character back for a second episode. I play.
Oh my god.
I play a gun nut on Legit. So my character kind of introduces guns into the world, and all this gunplay happens in season 2, and they get into some trouble. And actually, it actually helps Jim's character gunplay. But I've said too much. He actually doesn't care about spoilers. Jim's a great guy. I should introduce you to.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him. I'd like to meet him.
He actually sings your praises.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Literally, actually, he sings quite a bit.
You know he was an opera singer.
I did not know that. So
Yeah.
like on set, I was like, I had mentioned like how like on PBS the other night, I'm like, fucking Oklahoma's on PBS with Hugh Jackman. You ever seen that shit? Man, that guy can sing. And then all of a sudden, Jim just was like,
Oklahoma when the wind starts.
but like obscure songs. Like,
I would-
Poor Judd is dead.
I would
Like,
hear him in the shower. He was a trained
well,
opera singer.
to be fair, you had your ear to the door and you were masturbating. So of course you heard him in the shower.
No, I wouldn't do that when I was at the door. I would do that when I was inside
The shower.
door. Yeah.
I was on the shitter. I was sitting on the.
Jim and
the
I
can.
technically did jerk off together once. Jim, me, and Jason had a contest to see who could jizz first.
Yes.
And we went upstairs to separate rooms on the podcast. Tom Segura was hosting the show.
Jason to this day still hasn't finished.
It's true. Jim came first, I came second, and Jason hasn't come.
Wow.
Ever.
I can't believe he was married like in the 80s or something crazy.
Yep. I think he's going to get married.
I can't believe he's still alive.
I just got offered a job by CrossFit to come shoot some commercials for them. Like, they wanted me to come do these commercial things, and they wanted Jason because I've made some funny videos with Jason in them. And they...
it was like a before.
It was this guy that's delusional and think it was Jason,
right,
who thinks he could win the CrossFit Games. So they contact me. They're like, we need that fat guy you use too. So I called Jason and I was like, hey, you're wanted by like this major corporation to do.
Now, how many restaurants did you have to call and ask for the busboy before you found Jason?
The funny thing, he wouldn't text me back for like 5 hours. I'm like, I have a job offer for you. Where are you? And he goes, fuck off. I had to sneak out into the back to send this text. I'm not allowed to text at work.
Oh my gosh.
So I said,
the dishes aren't going to clear themselves.
I said, they want you to do this job. And he goes, what's my fee? And I go, nobody wants you. Like, nobody in this world.
I'm going to give you this job.
Screw your fee. Screw your fee. At this job, they'll let you text.
You'll finally be able to text.
And they pulled the commercial because of him.
Because he was that bad?
He was difficult. They were like, maybe next time.
He was difficult. They pulled it in post? I don't understand. They
just said, I said he needs, because he wanted like travel. And
I just imagine like on the day, cut! And then you're like, okay, do you want to go again? No, we're done.
Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it.
Done.
He would do that. Jason would definitely call cut and walk off a set. He would do it with Scorsese, I swear to God. That's how he is. He would say cut.
But he would show up here on methamphetamines or whatever every single night. He was reliable.
No, was he reliable?
He was always here. He was never not here.
He had nowhere to go.
Fair enough. You didn't charge him rent, so he's like,
he had nowhere to go.
2 hots in a cot.
But he did, like Jesse the other day said, hey, we have band practice. And he goes, I can't go. And Jesse's like, what do you do? And he's like, they're cutting shifts. Times are tough. People are losing work. I need to be there. And he makes everything over dramatic. Like when Jim and I would fuck with him too much, he'd be like, lives are at stake. You're going to hear from my attorneys.
Wow.
I have lasers to move.
Yeah. So when he sold lasers.
So on your 300th episode, was it like being at your own funeral?
Sort of.
Or like, to tell me what that was like, because like there were so many fucking weirdo shitheads from your past there.
I was worried that it was going to be one of those, like, when you're like Rogan. It was funny. I asked Rogan to come down. I go, I'm having a party. Come down. He goes, oh, cool. And then I
Didn't show.
And then I wrote, by the way, just want to warn you, there will be fans there too. And he went, ooh.
Yeah. Because
I didn't want to do that to people. Like, I didn't want people walking in and being like, oh, great, I'm at a party with a bunch of fucking fans.
Right.
This is terrible. Because that can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I swear, the shitheads were the most respectable,
Absolutely.
awesome. The one dude gave him coke all night long. Just took him in the bathroom and just got him high all night long. Another guy just went to the bar and opened a bar tab for the rest of them.
You're talking about the same guy named Ty Pennington. Machete's Coke connection on Melrose.
Don't say that. We'll never get Ty back on here.
Ty doesn't listen this deep into the show.
Yes, he does.
Stop.
That's how Ty found the show.
Because he listens this deep into the show?
Yeah. Anyway.
Like an hour or two, you go, God, we need guests. And he's like, I'll do it.
What's the T-shirt of the guy that bought you Coke?
Smoke meth, hail Satan.
Stop.
Wow.
I was hoping it was the fucking Darth Vader
I
sequence.
invited Tony. He didn't show up. He didn't come to the party.
Really?
Yeah, I sent you a message.
When was that?
Late December-ish. Mid-December.
I was on the road.
Yeah. Well, aren't you going to do the Texas thing? Have you guys done that yet?
I came
I'm
right
leaving
from the set
tomorrow.
of Legit.
Oh, you are?
I'm leaving tomorrow.
They are going. He's doing a Red Band and him are doing a tour of Texas. What parts of Texas are you going to?
We fly into Houston, and then we do Houston, Austin, then Dallas.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are good.
Yeah.
So
I
just
thought you were
just you and Red Band are touring together.
Normally we do, and
Right.
on this one we're Tiffany Haddish.
I love Tiffany.
Oh,
Yeah.
where the fuck was that bitch?
I was with her the other night.
No, where was she at 300?
She gave my wife a joint and called me If It. She calls me. She introduced me
Why
on
was she
stage
not at 300?
because she had to go see Beyonce,
Oh Lord.
and the guy
she
that was
is black.
the guy that was taking her to see Beyonce fucked her over, and she didn't even get to go in, and she was all pissed off, and she wanted to come to the Improv, and her sister's like, you can't go in like this, you can't go in. She's like, I want to go in.
She would have crushed.
She was so upset,
It's
though.
so funny that she calls you If It. I have this theory about that you can tell the funnier the person is by how much they mispronounce your name sometimes. She's so funny she can do that, you know? Like Joey Diaz has never called me by the right name. Hey, what up, Hinchcliffe? Hinchcliffe in the house. One of my favorite Young Rising. It's like he doesn't even he'll compliment you for 10 minutes straight, and then he'll go, "That's right, it's Tony Hinchcliffe."
Tania Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Neil Brennan has the funniest theory about black people. He says that the average comedian is not as funny as the average black person.
That's why black comics are so fucking funny.
Yeah, yeah. But it is true.
It's the gold
You
standard.
just sit and talk to a black person. You're like, you have it.
They got cadence.
Yeah.
Yep. Timing and beats.
It's all about rhythm.
Yep.
Shoot.
It really is.
Hmm.
They have that stereotype is true.
All right. Well, I got to end this episode on that. Too much accolades for black people. Tony Hinchcliffe, you're going to be where? You're going to be. Wait, this goes out Thursday, right?
Yeah, this Thursday.
This is out Thursday? Yeah. Okay, so you'll be in.
I'll be in Houston on Thursday, Austin on Friday, and Dallas on Saturday night. Look those up at Google Death Squad. You go to deathsquad.tv and find the dates and listen to my podcast, Kill Tony.
I don't think we have to tell shit anymore other than just Google it.
Yeah, that's it.
Can I plug something?
Nope.
The second season of
And
Legit.
thanks for listening to
Please
Talking
watch
Shit.
the second
Thanks for
season of
listening.
Legit.
Do us a favor. Use the Amazon click-through, as always, guys. And don't do anything with Chris Wylde. He's banned from the show.
Second season of Legit on FXX.
I'll bet he's on our next episode.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. This guy's funny. You don't need me.
Nope, you're
I
doing
got in the way of Tony.
You did get in the way of Tony.
I stepped on all his bits.
We're still doing the show right now. You did step
No,
on a lot of bits.
I wasn't doing bits. You were doing bits. I was just I was just saying hilarious things.
See, I disagree. Go back and listen. I disagree. Block user.
Come on, I was gonna take you to Sharky's after this. Let's go.
you just got blocked on Twitter.
Shit. It's not even following me. How can you block me? Is that possible?
I'll block you before you follow me.
The offensive block.
Yeah. Machete Kills, by the way. Machete, did you hear that? Was like voted like one of the worst films of the year. But Machete 1 was so good. Have you seen Machete?
We're not on episode 2 yet.
No.
Yeah, Machete 1 was decent. It was
Decent.
decent. It was decent. I watched it because I wanted to see Lindsay Lohan naked, right? That was the
He
thing.
cuts a man's stomach open, grabs the intestine, and jumps out the window with it and swings through the bottom window on the intestine.
I preferred Desperado.
All right. And that's the end of this show. Thanks for listening, shitheads.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for doing it.
Machete, take a picture. Please.